The truth is, most pastors are overbooked and overlooked. You're preparing messages, leading teams, navigating conflict, trying to grow the ministry, and you're supposed to carve off time to build a financial plan or create a living trust. I mean, good luck. Meet Pastor Brian. Brian's not his real name, of course, because no pastor wants their financial stress made public, but Brian's been faithfully pastoring in the Bay Area here for over 20 years. He's 56 years old, and he's really given his life to the church. And he believes what most pastors believe, that, hey, if I serve God, God will provide. And he's right. God does provide. But God's provision has many faces, and it doesn't always show up as a check in the mail. Right? Sometimes it shows up as peace of mind or wisdom or the right resource at the right time. In the first 10 minutes of strategically looking at his situation, Brian figured out how to save over $9,000 in taxes. He was completely shocked, but I wasn't. You want to know why? Because no one had ever sat with him to look at how to fully optimize his housing allowance, how to maximize his IRA contributions for him and his wife, and how to use a donor-advised fund to give appreciated stock for his charitable giving, and how to combine these strategies for maximum long-term impact. Brian didn't go to seminary to become a tax strategist, and frankly, he shouldn't have to. He didn't know how to navigate the financial game any more than I know how to read Hebrew. As Brian shared with me, it's one body, many parts, right? Brian's doing his part, and we're here to do ours. Before I tell another story, head over to pastorsfinancialtoolkit.com/1 for a free resource, 5 financial mistakes that Bay Area pastors make, and 5 simple solutions. It's there for you at pastorsfinancialtoolkit.com/1. Or you might relate to Jeff. Jeff is a faithful Bay Area pastor. He's serving here in the Bay in one of the most expensive and least churched regions in the entire country. Right? A difficult place to do ministry. He's in his mid-50s. He's not flashy. He's not chasing platform. He's simply trying to shepherd his people and lead his team and his family well. But the truth is, when I first met Jeff, he was very tired. He was worn out. He loved the Lord. He preached the word. He cared for the church. But financially, he was barely staying afloat. The cost of living kept rising. They have 4 kids. His oldest son was going off to college. He hoped he would get a baseball scholarship, but that didn't work out. They knew their savings wasn't enough, and they were behind for retirement. And Jeff's staff was leaving the area one by one. They were getting priced out of the Bay, right? Jeff told me, I feel like I'm constantly choosing between serving my people and planning for my family. And for a long, long time, I've chosen to serve my people in the church, and I put my family in the back burner. But now that I'm in my mid-50s, I see the clock ticking. I know I need to look at this. He actually quoted Luke 14. Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and count the costs? Suppose Jeff actually wants to retire one day. Won't he first sit down and count the cost? That's when Jeff was introduced to the Pastor's Financial Toolkit. And after looking at his finances, the staff housing challenges, and the reality of giving trends at his church, we built a plan to restructure his housing allowance to increase tax-free income for him and his team, to develop a long-term housing strategy to keep his best staff local, and we mapped out a sustainable giving campaign to increase internal generosity across the board. Jeff told me, for the first time in years, Scott, I feel like I have a proactive plan. I no longer feel like I'm behind the 8 ball. And the coolest thing is, it didn't stop there. Jeff experienced the impact and he said, my whole church needs this. So he put together a financial wisdom workshop, and over 100 people showed up. It was a massive success. It was an honor for me to speak there. People were engaged. They were encouraged. Families came up after saying, thank you so much for hosting this, Jeff. This is exactly what we needed. We looked to the church for not just spiritual inspiration and, help with our walk in ministries, but also for practical tools like how to parent better, how to have a better marriage, and how to get our finances in order. So thank you for offering this. And that's the impact. When Jeff got healthy financially, he was able to give that to his church too, and the ripple effect was pretty cool. So that's why we offer coaching completely free for pastors like Jeff or pastors like you. Take a moment to head over to pastorsfinancialtoolkit.com/1 for that free resource. 5 financial mistakes that Bay Area pastors make and 5 simple solutions. It's in the show notes as well, but pastorsfinancialtoolkit.com/1. Hi, I'm Scott Pearring, creator of the Pastor's Financial Toolkit, and if you're a pastor, especially in California, I made this for you. If you haven't figured out by now, I'm passionate about helping pastors thrive and helping them make smarter financial decisions. So let's talk about the tension. You're called to ministry, but that ministry does not exempt you from financial pressures, unfortunately. Sermons don't write themselves, your inbox never stops, you're leading a staff, caring for people, trying to show up for your family, and you're supposed to figure out taxes and retirement and estate planning too. Good luck. Unless you're Superman, that does not work out for most pastors. It's a totally different skill set. So we want you to know you're not alone and you're not without help. Each episode of the Pastor's Financial Toolkit brings real stories, practical strategies, and free resources to help pastors thrive. I created the Pastor's Financial Toolkit to help pastors and churches thrive so that they can expand the kingdom. And here's the part that surprises most people, that almost sounds too good to be true. Our services are completely free. We're fully funded by kingdom-minded families who believe in the local church and want to see pastors thrive. We help in 3 key areas: in coaching, housing, and giving. Coaching is about retirement planning and tax strategies, college planning, estate planning. Housing is creative, sustainable solutions to keep your best staff rooted where they serve. And giving is about fostering a culture of generosity in your church through capital campaigns, legacy giving, and financial wisdom workshops. And here's why this matters, because the truth is most pastors are overbooked and overlooked. You're definitely overbooked. You don't need me to tell you that. By Monday morning, the inbox is full. You're preparing messages, leading teams, navigating conflict, trying to grow the ministry, and you're supposed to carve off time to build a financial plan or create a living trust. Good luck. Pastors are often overwhelmed financially. They're not thriving financially. They're definitely overbooked. You're also overlooked from a market segmentation perspective. Most financial institutions do not want to touch pastors with a 10-foot pole. Frankly, you don't have enough money and it's too complicated, right? I promise you, JP Morgan Chase, the biggest bank in the whole world, does not have a pastor's division, right? They have a nonprofit division. They might open a checking or savings account for your church, but they're not strategically trying to help pastors. There's just frankly not enough money in it. And that's why we're here for you. So let's address the elephant in the room. I meet so many pastors who still feel it is selfish to plan for themselves. They've given their whole careers, their whole lives sometimes, to the ministry, to serving others, putting others above themselves. And it almost feels selfish or wrong or greedy to plan for their own family. And sometimes, unfortunately, it even becomes an excuse for not planning strategically. Let me be crystal clear. It is not selfish to plan for your family. I promise you, God is not up in heaven rolling his eyes at you because you're trying to be a good steward and take care of your family. God loves you. He wants you to be at financial peace so you can operate from abundance. Still dependent on him daily, of course, but come from a place of abundance, not scarcity. And financial planning is not about greed. It's about being wise and being a good steward. It's similar to Proverbs 15:22, right? Without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed. And here's why this matters. Because when we can move pastors from financial anxiety to financial confidence, they lead more courageously. And stronger leaders make stronger churches who serve their people more effectively and have more effective kingdom ministries. So our model is serve the pastor, strengthen the church, and grow the kingdom. It's pretty simple. It all starts with the pastor. The buck stops with you, like literally. And also, if we can get your bucks in order, like your finances well aligned, the fruit that comes from that is magnificent. The free resource for you is 5 financial mistakes that Bay Area pastors make and 5 simple solutions. Download it at pastorsfinancialtoolkit.com/1. It's there for you. It's free. I'm never going to charge for it, so don't worry. Take advantage of that. Look, I come from a pastor's family. My dad's a pastor. My brother's a pastor. I've been around the church my entire life. So I know a little bit about what it's like to carry the spiritual burden of the church and the financial stress of being in ministry. But I also believe with everything in me, the local church is still the hope of the world. It's God's plan A, and there is no plan B. So hey, if we can help you get even a little bit better financially, a little bit more secure, and have more financial freedom, that is a kingdom win, and we're all richer for it. Make sure you download the 5 financial mistakes that Bay Area pastors make and 5 simple solutions at pastorsfinancialtoolkit.com/1. In episode 2 of the Pastor's Financial Toolkit, we will address the number 1 financial challenge facing churches in the Bay Area, the housing crisis. We'll share stories, solutions, and a free playbook with 6 creative ways to help your staff stay rooted in the communities they serve. So check that out next.